lagging, which sucks, but it is what it is. So, it's been quite eventful here lately. And I don't even want to get into it. It's like every time I come on here, I'm like, oh, I've got problems with this, and that, and the other thing. And I do, because it's myself. I'm not a tech guy. The fact that I'm able to do this at all is just absolutely beyond me. And so, yeah. I thought I had it online earlier today. I thought I had it online last night, the night before that. Trust me, every single night. You know how many note cards I threw away? Like a fucking pile like this. Just full of notes that I'd been taking. But, when it's current events, it's like the next day, what good does it do? So, unless it has something to do with with the Elon Musk dump that he did to Matt Taibbi yesterday, that it's amazing. There's no mainstream media covering this thing at all. Like none. Like the only people covering this is fucking Fox News and then Matt Taibbi, who he dumped it to. So Taibbi's got like a thread of like 30 some different tweets, right? And this kind of it doesn't get into the Hunter Biden laptop, but it goes into what happened that caused the whole story to be basically suppressed, because it was right before the election of 2020, right? And the polling numbers that they came out with said that 16% of the people that voted for Biden would have changed their vote had they seen this information. And that just shows you how many people out there don't pay attention to anything other than what the hell they see on CNN, MSNBC, or whatever, just these garbage news networks. You got to find your news elsewhere. And it's not going to happen on Fox either. There's a couple of, Foxes. Tucker's good. Tucker's fearless. He'll call it out. Sometimes I don't agree with him, but that's fine. That's life. That's life. You don't agree with everyone. When did we get in this bubble where we just have to, if somebody doesn't agree with us, that all of a sudden they're a Nazi and we hate them and they hate us? It's so stupid. You're not going to agree with everybody. That's life. That's part of the way it goes. You have disagreements with people. If it was just going through every day, just simpatico, sure, everybody wants to be happy, but you're going to have disagreements, and that's not a bad word. It's not a dysphemism. It's just, it is what it is. People don't see things the same way. And that's how we grow and get better, is through our disagreements. Through our disagreements, we learn how to see the world through a different lens. That's all it is. And if you can be respectful about your disagreements with people, and sometimes you can just walk away finding no common ground too. But if you're respectful about it, hey, that's fine. You don't have to hate somebody because they don't see things, if they don't see it the same way as you. Now, there's certain things that, of course, I'm not talking about like violence or racism or shit like that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But certainly political ideologies. But this wokeism, this bullshit, it's become a totalitarian regime almost, These people on the Democratic side of things are just, they're out of their minds. And not to say that the Republicans aren't out of their mind. The whole fucking system's out of their minds. We're going through a time right now where stupidity is taking over, folks. And what you got to do is, while you live in it, you have to separate yourself from it. But yet you still have to survive in it, which is a difficult thing to do. It's, when you're in we are seriously in a totalitarian place right now. We can't talk. You can't speak a different view. You can't express a different opinion, or you get shut down. You get shadow banned. Now, this whole thing that Musk dropped with Matt Taibbi, this is what this comes to. Okay, so this isn't a Republican Democrat thing. This is a larger issue. It's a much larger issue, And who's to say this isn't happening elsewhere? I've been shut down right here on this platform, and people are scared to say shit on here because they're worried about it. I don't care. Whatever. There's plenty of other places to go. And if they shut me down, then it just proves my fucking point. It just proves my point that that's what they're doing. I mean, who's to say it's not happening on Bookface, Instagram, Crap Chat, Hip Hop, Crip Cop, TikTok. I mean, if it's happening on Twitter, we're going to go through this. I'm going to pull this up just so you all can, read along here. I don't know why it doesn't have me logged in. I was already logged in a second ago. I've got this. Well, we'll see if it comes back up. Anyway, I've got the whole thread pulled up here. And it's probably going to make me search it up again. It looks like it is. So yeah, Musk anyway, he put out he didn't put out the laptop, but he put out what went on. Because if you all remember, right, maybe you don't. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. But, and this stupid thing is picking up my voice. I gotta turn that off somehow. I'm gonna stop for 1 second while I of course, I just had it up. Oh, yeah. Imagine that. Okay. I think this will bring it up. Sorry, I had to reboot my whole computer. I had to redo everything. Like, completely reset it. What a pain in the ass. Especially when you're an idiot like me. Just horrible. So let's see if we can pull this goddamn thing up. All right, I think it starts. We'll just pull it up here on the screen so everybody can see it. In case you haven't read it. I don't know if anybody has or not. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But there we go. All right. I'll move this a little bit. Sorry. Okay. So he's just talking about it being a whirlwind. What happened basically was that Twitter decided that they were going to call the New York Post tweet about the laptop, they were going to call it hacked materials. And under their guidelines, hacked materials are not allowed. So there was a small group of people at Twitter behind Jack Dorsey's back that decided that this is what they were going to do. And so there's a whole series of inter company emails, whatever you want to call them, between these Twitter fucking people, most of which I think have been fired. I'm going to say her name wrong. Vijaya Gade. She was like the legal she was the one pushing this. She was on Joe Rogan's show with Tim Pool. And, Tim called her out. Of course, everybody saw the fiasco that happened with KW on his show the other night, if you pay attention, when he got up and walked out, and then he was on Alex Jones wearing a sock on his head or whatever. Everybody's all wound up about that. Now, you know what? Everybody knows that KW is he's going to say KW shit. Everybody knows that. He's always done that. This is a man that at a live show doing the whole thing that it's always driven me nuts at a concert when somebody up on a stage has to start yelling at you to get your hands up, and jump. I mean, it's like if your music is that good, then people should have their hands up and be jumping around anyways. Why do you got to tell them what to do? There's footage where K-Dub was yelling at, he yelled at everybody to get on their feet at a live show. And there was one kid who was still sitting down, and he stopped the show and yells at the kid about, why aren't you on your feet? The kid was in a fucking wheelchair, right? This is the guy. This is the guy that everybody's losing their shit over, saying shit that they're calling anti-Semitic. What do you think he's going to say? It's just like Phil Robertson saying shit that was, that was homophobic. The guy's 83 fucking years old, lives in the fucking swamp and makes duck calls. What do you think he's going to say? You think he's going to be all about rainbows and gay, pride parades and shit? I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? It's not something to just totally ruin your day about. Stomp around and put tweets out and, all these idiots on TV talking, just, oh, God, I can't believe it. What did you expect from K-Dub? Anything less? I mean, look what the shit that he said on Alex Jones' show the other night. And what do you expect from him too, Alex Jones? That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. These people are sensationalists. I mean, that's what you're going to get. I mean, I don't know how to explain this any more clearly than to just say, if you just don't give these individuals the control, then it doesn't really matter. But what we've done is we've given control to these outfits like Twitter and Facebook and all these other Twitter. I can't believe that Twitter has turned into this. I'm looking at this. This is 2022. I remember the first time I heard somebody get on that thing and tell me they tweeted. And I looked at the dude. I was bartending. I was behind the bar. I said, what is that? Is that a polite way to say you just farted? Or what are you talking about? He shows me that. He's like, it's a new app. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he tried to explain to me, oh, yeah, you got 140 characters to explain. I'm like, so do you think that somebody really gives a shit what you're doing? And apparently, look what it's turned into, I mean, hopefully Musk gets it straightened around. But I'm just sitting here, I got some of these emails pulled up. But there's places on here where they've obviously communicated with the Biden campaign. Democrats are in agreement. Social media needs to moderate more because they're corrupting democracy and making all truth relative. When they pushed on how the government might insist on that, consistent with the First Amendment, they demurred. The First Amendment isn't absolute. Really. The First Amendment isn't absolute. Okay? This is from... who is this guy? This is one of the bigwigs in Twitter, Sabo. This is all going on behind Jack Dorsey's back. And then we got number 35 with TABs. Sabo reports to Twitter that some Hill figures are characterizing the laptop story as Text Access Hollywood moment. Let's see what this one says. When asked just how bad the situation is, one staffer said, it's Text Access Hollywood moment, and it has no Hillary to hide behind. Others were more blunt. Tech is screwed, and rightfully so. So this just goes on and on through what happened. But basically, you want to talk about collusion. You want to talk about election meddling. This was it. This was it because this changed. I'm just going to pull this down. This changed 16% of Biden voters' opinion on the whole thing. So that would have changed the election. So Trump was right. I mean, between that and the electronic machines and the mail-in ballots and all this bullshit, and look what's going on in Arizona right now. I mean, and thank God that Carrie Lake is still standing tall. I mean, I don't care what you say. That other woman is ridiculous. She's been in the middle of all sorts of racism scandals and shit like that. I mean, I don't think from anything I've seen that the people of Arizona want anything to do with Katie Hobbs. I mean, she was a Secretary of State, and it said that she'd been at work like 19 days all of last year. I mean, and who cares? It's Arizona. It's not. I don't live there. But it's still in this country. I mean, I think we should just do away with the states. Just get rid of the state boundaries. Get rid of the federal government, and let's go back to just, why do we have to have states? I mean, what's it matter? I mean, where I live, I'm 37 miles from Montana. It's just like if you live by the Colorado border. It's the same stupid thing that I've talked about before. Like if I drive 38 miles from home, then I can pull off the side of the road and I sit there and smoke a joint. No big deal, right? And I can go up and buy it legally up there. But as soon as I cross that imaginary line, all of a sudden, I'm in trouble. What the hell's up with that, you know? Because some idiots in this state where I live don't think that if you're an adult, you can smoke a plant. It's a plant. Now, I don't partake of that shit. I used to, but I haven't in a very long time. Very long time. I mean, I don't care one way or another, but I don't think that there's any reason why another consenting adult shouldn't be able to. I mean, if you can sign your ass up and go overseas and, go fight a stupid oil war for this fucking country, then you ought to be able to drive over state lines. I mean, you ought to be able to just go down the street if you want to go get a plant. Let the market set the price. It shouldn't be taxed, period. That's everybody's argument. Well, look at the tax revenues. Well, no, it's a fucking plant. No, that's bullshit. That's absolute nonsense. It should not be taxed. It shouldn't even be an issue. It should be a non-issue. I mean, should you be out there driving down the road, just ripping blunts? No, of course not. Doing bong hits coming down the road. No, probably not a good idea. Because you'd be out there where the speed limit's 75 and you'd be doing 32. You're causing a problem. I've never seen a stoner speed. I can tell you that much. Not ever. Usually it's like you just slow it down. Whoa. Which is fine, but still, you shouldn't be impaired behind the wheel. I'm not advocating that whatsoever at all. Let's get back on topic here. So what happened with Musk, right? Everybody's throwing a fit now, okay? Musk was he was the hero. He was, everything. He was the, the creator of the electric car, and everybody loved him, I mean, you had people like Alyssa Milano, right? Who was seen wearing a bonnet, and she had some kind of a sign that somebody photoshopped it and made it say, like, my vagina smells like cat piss, which was hilarious. But I mean, she's out there with tweets talking about how great Elon Musk is, like singing his praises and blah, 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 blah. And then now she just thinks that he's the biggest white supremacist. I mean, she put out a tweet the other day. I think it was a tweet. I don't know. Tweet. I can't even believe that's a term that we're using. Tweet. Sound like a fucking Goonie bird saying that stupid shit. She put out a post on Twitter saying to the effect that she had traded in her Tesla and she'd gone and got a Volkswagen electric car instead, and called him a white supremacist. And if anybody saw the remark I made, it was like, how stupid are you? You just went and bought a vehicle that was founded by Nazis, actual Nazis, like real Nazis, like World War II Nazis, like Adolf Hitler, fucking Nazis. And you just shit on an African American, which is what Elon Musk is. Elon Musk is an African American, folks. He's from South Africa, born in South Africa, grew up in South Africa, moved to America. That makes Elon Musk an African American. By definition. Am I incorrect? Well, wait a minute. No. If you want to not be racist, if you want to not be a racist fucking idiot, then you have to say that Elon Musk is an African American. You have to. Unless you're racist. If you say that he's not, then you're a fucking racist. Sorry. Born in Africa, raised in Africa, moved to the United States. African American. If we're not looking at this, at skin color, if we're not looking at that, which everything's all racisms, right? It's all about the racists. If that's the case, then you got to look at Elon Musk and you got to say he's an African American, and he's getting shit on, and people are being racist towards him. How can you be a white supremacist when you're an African American? Huh? Hello? Anybody? Prove me wrong. Prove me fucking wrong. He should be crying racism like crazy all over everything. He really should. Them calling him a white supremacist? I mean, what's the difference between doing that to him and doing it to you know, somebody with a different colored skin tone that comes over here from Africa? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, if we're not looking at that, if we're not going to be racisms, then how is Elon Musk not an African American, and how is what is happening to him not racist? That's my point. Plain and simple. It's very easy. It's not difficult. It doesn't take a fucking genius, because I'm certainly no genius. But look at it. I mean, if you want to make definitions on things, if you want to have this bullshit, you know, about the racisms and all this, he's African American and he's getting shit on. And the man was held in the highest regard. I mean, you know, he's the world's, you know, wealthiest person. All he's trying to do is make it so people can actually use this platform to speak. And he's proven why it was necessary for him to buy this company, because with this stuff that was released last night, you can see how they manipulate and play with the fucking stupid idiot public's mind, and they twist everything. They take it, they shadow ban it, they reduce the boosts. There's emails in this whole thing. I encourage you to just if you're on Twitter, get on there and just search Matt Taibbi, and it'll come up. And follow Matt Taibbi. The dude's awesome. I've read a ton of his books. My brother introduced me to him, and you know, he wrote Griftopia, and a number of books. There was one he wrote where he infiltrated a bunch of crazy ass Christians down in Texas. Wild. I can't remember the name of that now. But I mean, it's crazy how many mushheads are out there too. You've got people that are talking shit, saying that this doesn't matter, saying that it doesn't matter that this came out, like that it's a nothing burger. It's not a nothing burger, and it's not all about Hunter Biden. It's not even really about Joe Biden. It's about what's happening, what the establishment is able to do to manipulate your thoughts, to manipulate the way you conduct yourself. This was all orchestrated. They did not want this coming out before the election. They did not. How in the hell does Biden win an election sitting in his basement for 50 days before the fucking election? And then you have these 50, right? Not 15, 50 ex-intelligence officers, the ilk of Clapper and Brennan and people like that, sign this letter saying that it's got the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. Well, of course, everybody sees that, and that's what Biden used when he was on the debate stage. How come 50 out of 30? That bumbling, mumbling fucking idiot. Oh my God. You guys have to watch The United Spot on YouTube. Check it out. The United Spot. Hilarious. I mean, these people, and they don't take it easy on anybody. And I like that. I like that when nobody I mean, like, fucking look at Mitch McConnell. I mean, I could go off on that guy. I mean, this list just goes on and on. I'm just looking through these emails, and these are, okay, what's his name? Carl Sabo. I'm just trying to open these things up so I can see the whole deal. You know the thing. Let's see. Yesterday, Net Choice's Chris Marchese met informally with 9 Republican and 3 Democrat House staffers to gather intel about Facebook and Twitter and a New York Post story. And this was from October 15th. The staffers hail from the House Judiciary Committee to Representative Judy Chu's office. That doesn't tell us much. I'm just kind of scrolling through these. I've read through them once, but I'm just kind of revisit. There's like 36 of them here. So, and Ro Khanna, actually, to his credit, Ro Khanna was like the only one that. Okay, Ro Khanna to Vijaya Gade. Ro Khanna says, "Hope you're well, Vijaya. But this seems a violation of the First Amendment principles. If there is a hack of classified information or other information that could expose a serious war crime and the New York Times was to publish it, I think the New York Times should have that right. A journalist should not be held accountable for the illegal actions of the source unless they actively aided the hack. So to restrict the distribution of that material, especially regarding a presidential candidate, seems not in the keeping of the principles of the New York Times versus Sullivan. I say this as a total Biden partisan and convinced he didn't do anything wrong, but the story now has become more about censorship than relatively innocuous emails, and it's become a bigger deal than it would have been. It also is now leading to serious efforts to curtail Section 230, which is the internet law, many of which would have been a mistake. I believe Twitter itself should curtail what it recommends or puts in trending news. And your policy against QAnon group is all good. It's a hard balance. In the heat of a presidential campaign, restricting dissemination of newspaper articles, even if New York Post is far right, seems like it will invite more backlash than it will do good. Please keep this communication just between us and Jack, and no need to CC the team or forward to them. So I wanted to offer my 2 cents. So Ro Khanna has obviously had interaction with Vijaya, who was the legal team. She's like the head lawyer at Twitter. She was. She's not anymore. She's down the road. Elon sent her packing. So Ro Khanna, all right, and here we got the reply. Let's look at the response. Here's from Vijaya. Hi, Congressman Khanna. Thank you for reaching out, and we appreciate the heads up. We put out a clarifying thread of tweets earlier this evening to explain our policy around the posting of private information and linking directly to hacked materials. The press secretary's account was not permanently suspended. We requested that she delete the tweet containing material that is in violation of our rules, and her account is restricted until she complies. I'd be happy to jump on the phone if it's helpful. My team in D.C., such and such and such and such, are copied here and also available to discuss. Thanks, Vijaya. So what they did is they told the New York Post, after they had put out what has turned out to be completely truthful. The Washington Post has had to admit it. The New York Times has had to admit it. CBS has had to come out and say that yes, the laptop exists and it is a thing. And from what I understand, and I've seen quite a bit of it, and it's fairly disturbing. But from what I understand, there's some things on there that you don't even want to see. I'm just going, allegedly. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't say one way or another. I'm just going by I'm just saying that allegedly from what has been, going around. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I do know that you got Mr. Bobolinsky, who has come out repeatedly. He was just on Tucker not too long ago. I mean, that dude is not a liar. I can tell you right now, he's not a liar. You look at body language. Look at body language, people. I'm telling you, look at body language. If you do that, you will see when people are telling you the truth or not. I mean, I was watching, oh God, who was it the other day? It was a goofball that Kermit the Frog, Bill Gates, and then a number of other people too. I mean, it's just, you could tell. It's very easy to tell, and I don't know what's going to happen I don't even care about the next election, to tell you the truth. I would rather we just didn't have another one. Why don't we let's just get it done. Get them all out of there. American people go back to work, right? We just kick it on down the road. We all know what we need to do, right? We all know what we need to do in our daily lives. We don't need these assholes. We don't need 87,000 more IRS agents. Fuck that. The Republicans better. Now, they've taken over the House, so they better follow through. Because if they don't, then you're going to have, this is where we're going to run into a real issue, because you're going to have two, which we already have. We already have two very untrustworthy parties that run the government. Okay? You can't trust either side. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're a Trumpster. I don't care if you're behind DeSantis. I don't give a shit. The way the political system is set up is it's fucking corrupt. It's going to lead to corruption. There's no way around it. As long as the lobby is intact and these people are allowed to take money and bribes for votes, it's corrupt. And that's not representative government. And you all want to talk about democracy. It's not a fucking democracy. It's an oligarchy. And it's not a representative republic either. We don't live in either of those fucking scenarios. Those are poop dreams. Those are fairy tales. That's shit that you were taught second grade in fucking elementary school when you had to stand there and put your hand over your heart and pledge allegiance to that fucking flag that's responsible for how many deaths in this world. How many innocent people are dead behind that flag? Talk to the Iraqi people. Over 1 million civilians died in that whole fucking debacle. Talk to people in Syria. Afghanistan. How about people in Yemen? Ethiopia? South America? This country has been at war for about but I think 8 to maybe 13 years of its existence. We haven't formally declared war since World War II. Yet somehow we've got troops and shit all over the place. Look at all the shit we left in Afghanistan. Look at all those billions of dollars. $20 billion in homelessness. And we're over there chasing around a 6'5" Middle Eastern man in a nightgown and a turban on a dialysis machine. He had to have that dialysis machine everywhere he went. I'm talking about Osama bin Laden. We knew he was in Pakistan. We knew that. What were we doing in Afghanistan? Oh, weird. We were out there guarding the poppy fields. We, during that time, oh yeah, we had an opioid epidemic happen with Big Pharma, right? You know, if you follow the money, it's amazing what you'll figure out. Just saying. Look at the family behind all the oxy bullshit. Look at how many people have died behind that. Look how many people are dying behind fentanyl every day. Every day in this country, 300 people. Now that strikes very close to home for my son and I. You know, very close. You know, I mean, and to me, that's not forgivable. I mean, if ever you would think in the world that I would want my 13-year-old son to find his mother dead from a fentanyl overdose, you're out of your fucking mind. So to think I'm behind any of this bullshit that's going on with this fucking asshole and the border and letting these fucking cartel fuckers bring this shit in here and letting this bullshit go on, you're out of your fucking mind. And the fact of the matter is that we wouldn't have this issue if we didn't have, number one, the war on drugs, okay? The war on drugs has done nothing but create a fucking vacuum. It's created, a need, a desire for these things. And the cartel's right there to pick that up. And then we just let it come in. So we need to, there needs to be some kind of a different route. I mean, to me, it seems like borders are fucking stupid. Honestly. I mean, if you didn't have authority, right? And granted, that's human nature. I suppose. People want somebody to tell them what to do. That's why people are fucking sheep. That's why we have herd behavior. But I'd encourage you to step out of that a little bit, or at least try to. Try to understand that these assholes in D.C., why are you letting them run your life? Why do we let them tell us we have to fucking give them all our money and pay taxes and pay ridiculous prices for shit? Why do we let them tell us that we have to have, insurance for every fucking thing, which is the biggest fiasco? It's the biggest fucking grift there is. Insurance is a grift. It's a grift. If somebody were able to open up an insurance company that said, look, here's the deal. Based on your driving record, Mr. File, you give us $600 for this year's premiums for your liability insurance on your vehicles, and you have no claims filed this year, then your policy rolls over for the next year. And it does so until we get a claim. And if we get a claim, then your premiums go up. Do you know what you would have every single customer in the insurance business, anybody out there, why would they not come get insurance to you? But they're not going to let that happen, right? They won't let it happen. I'm putting it out there right now. That's my idea. I can't get an insurance license, because I can't. I hadn't gone to take the stupid classes to go be a fucking thief. I mean, that's all it is. Insurance is theft. There's no difference between that and the mob going up to the fucking, the little fucking corner shop, and saying, okay, here's the deal. Here's the thing. For your protection, you're going to give us $500 a week, and we'll make sure nobody fucking steals from you. We'll make sure nobody comes in here and holds the joint up. They go into all these bodegas and shit. There's nothing different than what insurance is. It's the same thing because they just took your money. I've never had to make a claim. Yet I pay insurance. You know how much money I've paid in insurance? And you all know that too. Think about it. Think about how much money you've paid in your life in insurance. All the money you've paid in taxes. Guess what? That money that you've paid in taxes in your entire life, it probably went for one of those fucking missiles that they sent over there to fucking Ukraine. They didn't even make it on the battlefield and ended up in the fucking hands of some warlord in God knows where, And we let it go on. We let this shit happen. We let this manipulation go on because we're stupid. We're complacent. We're fucking stupid. And we sit back and we let this happen. That's why I'm saying something. Because people, you got to fucking wake up. You got to pull your head out of your ass and see what's going on here. This is not what life is supposed to be. This is not what we're here for. This is ridiculous. This has nothing to do with anything good, righteous. It has nothing to do with respecting our fellow human beings. It has nothing to do with being compassionate towards others. It has nothing to do with helping other people out. There shouldn't be poor people. There shouldn't be starving people. There shouldn't be children born into places where they don't even have fucking clothes. Do you know how many people out there don't have fucking clothes? And we want to sit here in this country and whine about minimum wage. Well, if you make minimum wage in this country, you are in the top 1% of the whole fucking planet. So let that fucking marinate for a minute, huh? So what's that come down to? What's the whole driving force in this whole thing? You got to fucking, okay, what do I always say? Follow the money, right? You ever think that the money is the fucking problem? We have a reserve banking system. I've explained this over and over to everybody. Nobody seems to get it. Do you know what happened with your stimulus checks, people? How much did you get? What did you get? Did you get $1,200 and then $600 or something like that? Was it $1,800? Big fucking deal. That Janet Yellen wants to sit there and say that that's the reason we're in a recession is because they fucking put you on lockdown and then you took your fucking measly $1,800. How far does $1,800 get you, folks? Not very fucking far, does it? Don't get me very fucking far. Not too far at all. Especially now. She wants to blame you because you went out and bought barbecues and shit because you were locked down. It's just like politicians to do. They fucking blame everybody else, point the finger, and they sit there and they get rich. How much money is she making a year? What's her salary? I don't have any idea, but I guarantee that I'd be interested to see her fucking portfolio. It's probably right up there with Pelosi's as far as insider trading and everything else goes. And that's the thing. It's a big fucking club. Like George Carlin said, it's a big fucking club and you ain't in it. You're not in it. And this shit that Musk put out, all you idiots out there that are fucking taking the side of the fucking Democratic Party and putting out these stupid fucking messages and posts out there, you all are fucking dumb. You're dumb. I mean, stupidity is a disease. It is a disease just as contagious. This is like the line from The Natural. Losing is a disease as contagious as polio or a bubonic plague. Anybody remember that movie, The Natural? Robert Redford had the bat that came from the tree that was struck by lightning. He was the next up and comer. He got shot by that lady. And she jumped out the window or something, and he came back. I'm going to watch that. Had Wilford Brimley. Wilford Brimley is the coach, I believe. Wasn't it Wilford Brimley? Then they had that assistant. What a great movie. I haven't watched The Natural in forever. The little bat boy, he gets up there and he hits that one. And it's just foul going over the fence. Crack. Anyway. I don't know how I got off on that tangent. I don't know how I get off on any of them. But it's time for, I guess what I'm getting at is it's time for a comeback. Maybe we got shot. Maybe we had something bad happen to us here, but it's not too late to stand up and do what's right. You know, life is short and it's not meant to be like this. That's my point. That's why I always say walk away. And that's fully where I'm at with it right now, is just walk away from it, you know? And I'm just trying to, the message I'm trying to pervade to everybody is that you can do that. It's not about punching a clock. You're here at best, maybe 80 years, right? I mean, that's not long. If we want to believe that the Earth is billions of years old, then what's 80 years? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's like spitting a sunflower seed out the window of your car. We're hurtling on a fucking rock, spinning at breakneck speeds around a fucking big ass fireball in the sky. That's what we're doing. And we want to fight about religion. We want to fight about politics. We want to fight about money. We want to fight about every stupid fucking thing you can think of. We have got to be the most petty species. And I don't know where we came from, because it's not here. Animals don't do that. We say we're not animals. We're not. Animals can go outside and be just fine. I got a cat that can go outside in the cold and he can wander around and kill rabbits all night. Doesn't bother him. There's elk, there's deer, there's antelope. They're all out there in the cold every night. If we get set out with no clothes on our back, no nothing, just naked like an animal is, we're dead. Come out here at my house right now. Go outside. I dare you. I double dare you to go outside butt ass naked out here. You're done. Fucking 45-mile-an-hour wind, snow blowing everywhere. 3 degrees. Yeah, good luck. So what are we doing here? We don't belong here. There's something going on that's different, and we're perpetuating the problem by involving ourselves in this nonsense, because we're here to learn a lesson, and the lesson is not to be more greedy. The lesson is not to accumulate as much shit as you can, because what good does that do? Everybody wants shit. They want to get this and get that. Why don't you just go out and get what you need? Sometimes there's things that you want. And if you're using those things that you want to perpetuate something that is creative and good and helpful, it doesn't have to be helpful to anybody, maybe just to you. Like I mean, I've got a number of guitars, not an excessive amount, but the number that I'd like to have. I've got a different one for different things. I would, I mean, y'all don't want to hear me play, but I enjoy doing that. It's something I like to do, I mean, I enjoy doing this. I'd like to think that it's doing some good for somebody out there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know, but I feel compelled to at least put the information out there. And it's not coming from a place of hatred or angst or anything like that. It's because I care. I'd like to see everybody that I know going through life and enjoying the little bit of time that they have. Wouldn't it be better like that? Instead of being stressed and worried and not knowing how you're going to pay your bills, not knowing how you're going to put fuel in your car, not knowing how you're going to feed your family, not knowing how you're going to, have the right clothes to wear. And then you got to go do a shitty cheese job every day. You punch in, punch out, same thing every day, mundane. All the best years of your life, wasted. You grow up in the school system that tells you that all you've got to get good grades, and then you've got to go to college and go into debt, and then you've got to go out and you've got to get that shitty cheese job at a cubicle so you can pay that fucking shit off. And you spend however many years of your life till you're 50, 55 trying to pay it off. I mean, I know people that are my age that haven't paid their debt off. And not even close. And then you get to be that magic age. That number, and you look in the fucking mirror and you're fucking gray haired and you're fat and you're ugly and you get fucking, skin tags, wrinkles. And then what are you going to do? Take your fucking $1,200 a month that you get from Social Security and your IRA that you fucking lost because these assholes in DC fucked you off? People who got money invested in that shit right now in their 401ks and shit, they're fucked. And then what are you going to do? You're going to just go get on a fucking Carnival cruise line and go fucking float around with a bunch of blue hairs, eat shitty food, listen to crappier music, and fucking look off the fucking deck of that boat and think about how you're not going to throw yourself off into the fucking ocean? Is that how it's supposed to go? I don't think so, people. I don't think so. Think about the best days that you've had in life. Think about the best times that you've had. The best, think back on the moments where you were just like having a great time. And what was always on the back burner? Like on a say you take your family on a great vacation, right? Wherever. Hawaii or wherever would be your ideal vacation. What's always on the back burner? Number one, you're thinking about, oh, God damn, every time you got to fucking throw out that credit card to pay for a meal or, passes or this and then the rental car, whatever, you're going, fuck, God, you're thinking about how much you're going to have to work to pay that fucking card off, right? And then in the back of your mind, you're also thinking, you're counting down, right? You're on vacation. You're counting down until the day you got to go back to fucking work. And what's the worst day ever? It's the first day going back to work, right? Tell me that isn't fucking sum up 95% of the people in this country. Maybe you're one of the 5% or whatever that feels great about coming back. I'm just ready to get back to work. Who says that? Who goes from sitting on a beach with their family or their loved ones or their significant other, sitting on a beach, taking those Instagram pictures of your fucking ugly feet with the water and your little umbrella drink? Tell me you're not just sitting there thinking about the day you got to go back to work. Thinking about the cost of everything, thinking about what, and then the vacation's up and you start to think about what you just spent. You're like, fuck. It's like, yeah, that was fun, but it's gone now. I guess we've got some fucking pictures and some Instagram posts. Back to the grind. You come back, you're in a shit mood. Now you got to work your ass off. You got to pick up that overtime when they fucking throw it at you. Got to maybe pick up a side hustle, get that fucking credit card paid off. You're grumpy at your kids, you're grumpy at your wife, you're grumpy at whoever, whatever your situation may be. Think about it. Is that what it's all about? I mean, every day should be a vacation. We live our days out in misery, and we're told that that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it has to be. That's the way it's got to be. You got to work. You got to have a goddamn job, you lazy son of a bitches. To do what? What's it serving? Everybody has a niche. Everybody has a spot. Everybody has something to offer. And if people were able to pursue what they had to offer, and then it wasn't like fucking work, it was like doing what you enjoy doing. Because people do. I enjoy doing things for people, and I know all you do too. I mean, there's no better gift than that of giving, I mean, giving something so you feel great about it. It's better than getting something. And sometimes when you need something, it's great to get something from somebody. And when somebody gives you something that you need, then they get a reward too from it, I mean, every time I've given somebody something, now granted, there are some, there is also the good deeds that never go unpunished, of course. But the reason for that is not because of the giving, it's because of the the financial, the fiscal deal at the end of it, right? I spent all this money to do that, I mean, that's where you get all salty about it. It's not the act of what you did for somebody. So anyway, it's just, it's just crazy. I mean, especially at my age, right? Like my kid doesn't understand this. I'm going on 47. I remember not having the internet. I remember having a set of encyclopedias. I remember staying hours in the library trying to find information, not having, one of these things with every bit of information that you could ever imagine on it, so I remember those days of sitting there, talking on the phone with the cord wrapped around the side of a door, trying to hide out so your parents didn't hear you talking to that girl you liked in 7th grade. Not having crap chat where kids are sending nudie pictures and all kinds of crazy shit and picking on each other on there. I can't even imagine being a kid with this social media shit. Social media is a bad deal, but here we are, and here I am talking to you on it. But I'm just trying to get you to think a little bit about what it is you're doing and what it is that I mean, sure, there's honor in hard work. Sure there is. There's honor in creating things. There's honor in making things. There's honor in creative things. Like if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a writer, whatever, there's certainly honor in the craft. If you're a brewer, if you make beer, for fuck's sake, or you have a winery, or if if you like building homes, there's honor in the act of creating, for sure. But when you look at it as the reason that you're doing it is just for the paycheck, but then that's where you get into that area where it's like, well, would I have been a painter for all these years? If it was just I wouldn't have if there was no money in it. Hell no. I'm undergoing adverse health effects from all the solvents and shit that I've been exposed to over the years, I'm in the middle of that right now. Thankfully, I've been able to go see somebody, but a doctor, but hey, I don't know what's up. I'm going to find out, but, would I have done that? Would I have, found myself hanging off trusses fucking 40 feet in the air with no harness on because some boss is yelling at you, get up there, you pussy, when I found myself on, chain 40-foot ladders together and climbing up the backside of a 5-story building, hanging off of a roof, doing shit for $15-20 an hour that's just absolutely stupid. But I've put myself in those positions had it not just been because I got to make that money, and this is what I know. Think about it. Think about the things you do, and if you were given the option tomorrow, right now, tomorrow's Sunday. Let's say Monday morning, right? Let's just let this one marinate. If you were given the option on Monday morning to do whatever it is that you wanted to do, what would it be? Let yourself think about that through tomorrow. I don't know, I guess football's going on. I also implore you, just stay away from the stupid football games. Sure, it's entertaining, I guess. And I'm not trying to be hypocritical because I spent a lot of years of my life glued to the fucking sports TV and everything, and I haven't watched a game or paid attention to it in pushing 5 years now. And I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it because there are so many other things out there that I love doing. Like I'm going to get done here and I'm going to go out and I'm going to work on, polishing some rocks, probably play a little guitar, maybe do some writing. I got a pile of guitar picks here that I just cut out yesterday that I'm going to sand these down with some wet sand, get them all fine-tuned, honed up. Anybody need guitar picks, let me know. I'm going to be making another batch here soon. I just got to get some more epoxy. So on that note, I got to get out of here. I've babbled on too long, which I always do. But anyway, love all y'all. Be good at it, and all things be kind, and do no harm. Try and do some good. Do some good for yourself. That's what we should be looking at. Do some good for yourself. All right, folks, I'm out from 52 miles east of Yellowstone Park in Coyote, Wyoming. I'm your host, Michael File. This is the Mike Files, and I'm out. Hopefully this came through without sounding like too much bullshit.